years ago, I used to work at, let's say, geriatric healthcare facility down here in South Florida, one of the most prominent ones, or the most prominent one for that matter. So, towards the later part of my, my employment there, I was working in training and development, and one of the days, it was very similar to this. Today reminded me of that day because it's basically, you can tell it's raining, it's gloomy. It's not your typical South Florida getup. It's not blue skies and sunshine. The sun's still out, but let me adjust that. Sorry. The sun is still out, but excuse me. It's raining for the most part. So it was interesting because I had a new group of new hires, right? And we were training them. But every so often, I think it was like every 2 hours, we would take a break. So it was time for break, and that building was massive. I'm telling you, that building was huge. And as we're walking through one of the hallways where we actually could see outside, there was other parts of the building. We were so far in the building, you had no windows. One of the girls in the group, basically speaking out loud, says, "What an ugly day." And I don't know why, but at that very moment, I basically stopped her and the whole group, and I put her on the spot. I said, "Did everybody hear what she said?" And she was appalled. She was like, "Holy shit, did this guy really just throw me under the bus, so to speak?" And I said, "Can you please repeat what you just said?" And she, kind of a little ashamed, she goes, "What an ugly day." And my immediate answer to that was, what if we were blind? Right? So our mind is so saturated with the abundance of emotions that we never take our mind purposefully to the dark side of it, right? That's just left unoccupied. It's left to be consumed by negativity. But the fact of the matter is that in every atom you have positive and negative, and you have to have the negative in order to understand the positive. When you could actually take that negative and power yourself by it and realize, fuck, it's not that bad, my day's not that bad, and that proverbial it could be worse really could be worse, you guys will realize that. That's one of the keys to breaking the code, right? There's no code, but I'm just, using a figure of speech. But at that moment, right, she basically, realized, and the entire group went from, wow, what an ugly day, to, holy shit, you're right. If we were blind, what would determine a good day from a bad day, a pretty day from an ugly day, a rainy day from a day that's not? Obviously, your other senses take place. But what if you were completely deprived of your senses? Now, some of you might argue, oh, we would be dead. I don't know the answer to that. You don't know the answer to that. And I don't give a fuck if you're a scientist. You don't know the answer to that shit either. It's all hypothetical. All arguments are just opinions with a little bit of research behind them. Scientific arguments. I don't give a fuck. It's all your opinion. Well, I have facts. Yeah, that you fucking created the premises for it. Good. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But at the end of the day, man, it's just days like these are not that bad. There's people who really throw their whole day out the window just because it looks like this. You know, oh wow, it's a little bit of rain. Who the fuck cares? You know, like if it's raining a little bit, okay, free car wash. Like the fuck? Are you gonna magically just start throwing shit up in the air and alakazam, the rain's gonna stop? No, it's gonna rain for however long it's gonna rain for that day. But I mean, we just got into a point that we complain about everything. Everything. Oh, you didn't fill my soda to the fucking rim. Well, so be fucking it, man. Are you gonna fucking cry about it? Go for it, cry. Like, we're just constantly complaining about bullshit. And you know, you'll see online, you'll see a bunch of memes that they say, you know, somewhere someone is dying to have what you got rid of. Actually, no, I've never seen that one, but I just came up with it. But I like it. But literally, think about it. Somewhere, someone is dying to have what you got rid of, right? And listen to me, I have nothing wrong with having nice shit, as you can tell. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I like to have nice things. But, you know, instead of me driving this car, before that I was driving my wife's old Jetta, which was okay. But that Jetta to somebody else is the equivalent of this car to me. And this car to somebody else is the equivalent of a Volkswagen Jetta. So it's all subjective, guys. Like, I'm gonna get into another video now. I don't know if I'll just let it roll or section it off so that you can kind of extract this piece of information from it. Life is subjective. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you believe in, what is your creed, nationality, race, gender, etc. I don't care. Life is subjective. At some point in time, right, in the beginning, right, like the whole little cute little funny music, in the beginning, at some point, a consensus formed of what things were. Had that general agreement or consensus of information been 1 degree off to something else, what I'm driving now wouldn't be a car, it would be a blibbity blue, you know, whatever. The sky wouldn't be the sky, it'd be the scope. Rain wouldn't be rain, it'd be Rome, you know. Like, everything is subjective in the sense that we appointed a meaning of significance to what our senses perceive, to quantify things. Human beings are all about measurement. They want to measure everything. They want to be able to control everything. And the funny thing is, human beings want to control everything except their own minds. And that is one of the funniest things to me, because I too was stagnant, so to speak. I didn't give a shit about taking control of my actions or the outcomes of my future. I literally would let life take its course, you know? And I don't agree. I think that there are certain events in our lives that come to us which have multiple outcomes. However, those predetermined pivot points, right, are already kind of like designed or decided for us. But the thing is that we literally just say, oh, just go with the flow. And I recently did see something online that said, remember that dead fish also go with the flow in the current. You tell me, do you want to swim towards what you want, or do you just want to go with the flow? I personally, the biggest change I did. So let's segment off, right? I'm not gonna get fucking all roo-rah and shit, and I hope you saw that, because there's a lot of idiots out there that they are preying on you by trying to build themselves up, right? It's kind of like they cheerlead themselves, and some of you might find value in that. Good for you. I don't. See, I like to get into deep thought. I'm measured when I speak, because our words are literally like the bullets of a gun. Once you pull the trigger, you can't call them back. And there's a lot of people who suffer from verbal diarrhea. They will just talk their fucking heads off, and you will consume all of that without validating its entirety at all, or its substance. But I want to give you guys 3 actionable things that you can do today that I will guarantee will completely shift your perspective on life, and it will also allow you to start achieving your goals. The first thing that you guys have to do is stop fearing death. Just stop. When I was 18 years old, I read a quote by Leonardo da Vinci, and that quote read, "While I thought I was learning how to live, I realized I have been learning how to die," or something along those lines. Look it up, validate it. I have so much shit in my mind that I can't verbatim remember it. It was like, while I thought I was learning how to live, I realized I've been learning how to die. Think about that. That basically lets you know that life has its beginning, middle, and end, right? Now, I can't prove what happens after you pass away. Neither can you, neither can any other scientist here. Just because your physical body ceases to sustain your spirit, there's something else out there. I'm willing to chop my nuts off. And the reason I tell you that is, when I was about, I think it was like 5 or 6, I had 4 respiratory seizures. At that time, I had an out-of-body experience. I didn't see any people. I didn't meet anyone or anything, etc. There is a white light, and if I can explain, that is literally like the absence of. It is the purest form of white and nothing surrounding, and just constant depth, just full white. But on top of that, I did have an out-of-body experience. At the time, my dad had a black Ford Mustang, like a 1987 GT, and I followed my dad alongside the Miami River, and as memory serves, I didn't come to until my dad walked in the room. Mind you, at this whole time, they were basically trying to keep me alive, performing CPR and all this stuff. So, given the fact that that's happened to me, right? And once I read that quote at the age of 18, that's it. Like, I started living my life on a different frequency. I don't, like, it's not that I don't care if I die. Of course, you know, I have a 2.5-year-old son, I have my wife, I have my family to provide for. I have so much to offer the world in general, and in due time I'll be able to set a legacy for myself and my family based off of doing good. But I already know that, at least up to this moment, I'm not hoarding anything in my mind. I'm letting it all go. And the beauty of that is that I'm not cluttering my, let's call it my storage, right? I'm not cluttering it with fragmented bullshit. Every day I just let things go to make space for new things. And if I need to go back in there and review it, it's there. You know, that's what your memory serves for. So, the first thing is, stop fearing death. Trust me, when you fear death, that just sets the foundation for a bunch of other negative shit in your life. Number 2, replace your consumption of media with things that are going to build you up. Instead of watching the latest twerk video, or instead of watching, you know, Housewives of fucking Orange County or whatever the fuck you're into, I don't give a shit, House of Cards, Game of Thrones, Blacklist, whatever. If you guys want to give me credit for giving you guys a shout out, hit me up. But instead of watching all that shit, do this for 3 months and do the test. Start, get an, or actually, you know, get an Audible membership. It's $14.95 a month, guys. 15 bucks. You spend that on 3 coffees at Starbucks. Make a goal to read, or in my case, listen to a book a month. When you're able to listen to a book a month, I've basically come to the conclusion that books are the equivalent of my seeing glasses, right? Without my glasses, I can see, just everything is blurry. Books give us clarity. Every book that we consume or read is not entirely going to help us. You're going to read a book that might have 200-300 pages of only which 3 bring you value. But once you take those 3 and then impose them into your book, the book of your life, it'll give you some more substance. So that's number 2, would be basically replace the media that you're consuming. All the wish-wash shit, listening to music. Most cars right now have Bluetooth. Download Audible, get a book, and read it. You could knock out a book if you want to, driving to and from work, in a matter of a couple weeks. So make that a goal. You're interested in something, you want to learn about it, there's this magical website. I don't know if you know about it. It's www.google.com. Yeah, Google. Go on Google. There's a little thing that I do for work. It's called SEO. Makes life a lot easier. So you're going to actually get relevant content. Also, Google's AI is going to serve you the most accurate piece of information possible. So chances are, when you get information for a query that you're searching for, it's going to bring you some value. Also, where you're consuming right now, YouTube. Guys, use these tools to your advantage. You can learn anything. Like, you literally can learn how to do anything. So why not? Like, the internet has literally given society the opportunity to not have to worry about, oh, I have to go to college to learn how to be a digital programmer. You don't have to go to college for that. I mean, you can pick up a course online for coding, and if your brain is wired for that shit, you can learn it on your own. Watch videos on YouTube on how to write basic code. I personally can't code myself out of a fucking wet paper bag. My brain's not wired for it. But you could do basically anything, guys. You really can. And number 3. This one I'm going to give credit to who I heard it from first. And it's Tony Robbins. And it's find something greater than yourself to serve. You know, if you're religious, then put your faith in your religion. If you're a family man, put your faith in your family. Or a woman, for that matter. If not, guys, charity. Like, make your North Star something so big that you'll literally have to back up your efforts in order to achieve that. Like, I have some very ostentatious goals, which I will achieve. And I'm relatively young, guys. I'm only 31 years old. And my goal is to be able to walk anywhere and find people who are in need and bless them in a financial way. That's, I mean, you might say, oh, you're just gonna, no. And I'm not even gonna record it. Like, all these people on YouTube right now that are going around and taking a homeless individual and recording the entire thing and like basically amplifying the fact that that person's homeless, and you're doing them a good deed by taking them to a hotel, letting them shower and getting them a haircut, and going and buying them clothes and then using it to your fucking service. That's so fucked up. But as I said earlier, we've become one-level thinkers. We don't realize that they're just using that socially to engineer an outcome from you guys. They want you to feel empathy for that, and they want you to think of them as if they're doing a good deed, but they're just using it to lure you into their channel, straight up. But those are the 3 things, guys. Stop fearing death, and that's the biggest one. I'll leave you with that, and you guys have yourself an amazing day.